Why polar bears are facing extinction and what we can do about it. Polar bears are among the most iconic and majestic creatures on Earth. As the largest land carnivore and a symbol of the Arctic, these animals have long been admired for their strength, adaptability, and resilience. However, despite their power and prominence, polar bears are facing an existential threat: extinction. Climate change, habitat loss, and human activities are pushing these apex predators to the brink. In this article, we'll explore why polar bears are at risk of disappearing, the challenges they face, and the actions we can take to ensure their survival. The importance of polar bears in the Arctic ecosystem. Polar bears versus maritimers play a vital role in the Arctic ecosystem as apex predators. They primarily feed on seals, which helps regulate seal populations and maintain a balance within the marine ecosystem. By scavenging carcasses and redistributing nutrients, they also contribute to the health of the Arctic environment. Beyond their ecological importance, polar bears are a cultural and spiritual symbol for indigenous communities in the Arctic. They represent resilience and survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Protecting polar bears is not only about saving an animal, but also about preserving a delicate ecosystem and the cultural heritage of the Arctic. The primary threat: climate change. The greatest threat to polar bears is climate change, which is drastically altering the Arctic environment. Polar bears depend on sea ice for hunting, mating, and resting. They use the ice as a platform to hunt seals, their primary food source. However, due to rising global temperatures, Arctic sea ice is melting at an alarming rate. Impact of melting ice. Loss of hunting grounds. As sea ice disappears, polar bears are forced to travel greater distances to find food, expending more energy than they can replenish. Extended fasting periods. With ice forming later in the year and melting earlier, bears have shorter hunting seasons and longer fasting periods. This leads to malnutrition, reduced body weight, and lower survival rates. Impact on cubs. Malnourished mothers struggle to produce enough milk, leading to higher cub mortality rates. A vicious cycle. The melting ice not only threatens polar bears directly, but also contributes to global warming. Arctic sea ice reflects sunlight, helping to regulate the Earth's temperature. When the ice melts, darker ocean water absorbs more heat, accelerating warming, a phenomenon known as the albedo effect. This feedback loop exacerbates climate change, further endangering polar bears. Other threats to polar bears. While climate change is the primary driver of polar bear decline, other human activities exacerbate the problem. Industrial development. Oil and gas exploration in the Arctic disrupts polar bear habitats. Industrial activities not only destroy critical areas of sea ice, but also increase the risk of oil spills, which can poison polar bears and their prey. Pollution. Toxic chemicals such as mercury and PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, accumulate in the Arctic ecosystem. As apex predators, polar bears absorb these toxins through their prey, leading to health issues such as weakened immune systems and reproductive problems. Human-wildlife conflict. As polar bears spend more time on land due to shrinking ice, they come into closer contact with human settlements. This increases the likelihood of conflict, where bears may be killed to protect communities. Overhunting. While polar bear hunting is regulated in many areas, poaching and illegal trade in bear parts remain threats in some regions. The consequences of polar bear extinction. The extinction of polar bears would have far-reaching consequences beyond the Arctic. As keystone species, their disappearance would disrupt the balance of the Arctic ecosystem. This could lead to overpopulation of seals and changes in the marine food web, affecting other species and communities dependent on these resources. Additionally, the loss of polar bears would be a profound cultural loss for indigenous peoples who revere these animals. It would also serve as a stark warning about the broader impacts of climate change on biodiversity and humanity. What we can do to save polar bears. Protecting polar bears requires urgent and collective action on multiple fronts. While the challenges are immense, there are steps we can take to give these animals a fighting chance. Combat climate change. Reduce carbon emissions. Transitioning to renewable energy sources. Increasing energy efficiency. and implementing policies to lower greenhouse gas emissions are critical steps to slow global warming. Support international agreements. Agreements like the Paris Accord aim to limit global temperature rise, which is crucial for preserving Arctic ice. Adopt sustainable practices. Individuals can contribute by reducing energy consumption, driving less, and supporting eco-friendly products and companies. Protect polar bear habitats. Establish marine protected areas. Creating protected zones in the Arctic can safeguard critical habitats and minimize industrial impact. Regulate industrial activities. Limiting oil and gas exploration and enforcing strict environmental standards can reduce habitat destruction. Reduce pollution. Ban harmful chemicals. Strengthening regulations on toxic substances like PCBs can lower pollution levels in the Arctic. Promote clean oceans. Reducing plastic waste and cleaning up marine debris can improve the overall health of the Arctic ecosystem. Mitigate human-wildlife conflict. Community education. Educating Arctic communities on bear behavior and safe practices can reduce conflicts. Bear deterrent programs. Using non-lethal methods to deter polar bears from human settlements can protect both people and bears. Support conservation efforts. Donate to polar bear organizations. Supporting groups like Polar Bears International helps fund research and conservation projects. Advocate for policy change. Encouraging governments to prioritize Arctic conservation ensures long-term protection for polar bears. Hope for the future. While the situation is dire, there is hope. Efforts to combat climate change, protect habitats, and raise awareness are making a difference. The resilience of polar bears, combined with human determination, can turn the tide. For example, conservation programs in Canada and Norway have successfully stabilized some polar bear populations by implementing stricter hunting regulations and protecting key habitats. Additionally, advancements in renewable energy and international climate agreements offer a pathway to reducing the impacts of global warming. Conclusion: polar bears are not just symbols of the Arctic, they are symbols of our planet's ability to adapt and survive. Their plight serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Saving polar bears requires more than just preserving an iconic species. It demands global action to combat climate change, protect ecosystems, and create a sustainable future for all living beings. The time to act is now. By working together, we can ensure that polar bears continue to roam the ice, hunt seals, and inspire awe for generations to come. Let the fight to save polar bears be a testament to our collective ability to protect the natural world and the incredible creatures that inhabit it. Thank you for exploring this critical topic with us. Polar bears need our help, and every action counts. If you found this video informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to support more wildlife stories and conservation efforts. What will you do to help save the polar bears? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on Animal Kingdom Showdown.